I'd like to call the regular council meeting for the town of Bay-Westfield on Monday, July 8th, 2024, to order at 7:04 p.m. We respectfully acknowledge that Bay-Westfield exists on traditional Wolster Clay land. The lands of Wabanaki people are recognized in a series of peace and friendship treaties to establish an ongoing relationship of peace, friendship, and mutual respect between equal nations. The river that runs by our town is known as Woolastook, along which live Woolastook, the people of the beautiful and bountiful river. We, the staff and elected representatives, pay respect to the elders, past and present, and descendants of this land. And for record of attendance, we have everyone in attendance with the exception of Deputy Mayor Toole, who says her regrets. Item 5, agenda approval. The motion is that the council of the town of Bay-Westfield approve the agenda of July 8, 2024 as presented. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Councillor Bellins. That was a second by Councillor Burton. Thank you. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item 6, disclosure of conflict of interest. Are there any? There being none, we'll move on to item 7, public hearings, presentations, delegations, petitions. 7A, presentation of UNB Town Bursary, and that would be our winner, Jethro Wilson. So, Jethro, we're very, very pleased to have you here. Congratulations. This is for you. Oh, you want a picture? Awesome. So what are you going to take? What are you going to take? Oh, very good. Excellent. Very good. Well, congratulations and best of luck.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming in. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Item 8, minutes of previous meeting. 8A, regular council minutes of June 24th, 2024. The motion is that the council of the town of Bay-Westfield adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of June 24th, 2024 as presented. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Councillor McIntosh Lawrence. A second. Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item 9, unfinished business. There being none, we'll move on to 10, bylaws. There being none, we'll move on to item 11, new business recommendations. 11A, Colonel Nay subdivision. And I will pass the item over to you, John.
Thank you. So this is an item that's been before council on numerous other occasions. So it's just a land for public purposes, cash in lieu motion for council to consider. This one is in relation to a subdivision on Colonel Nay's Boulevard.
Okay, thank you. And so I'll read the motion and open the floor up for questions. 11A, Colonel Nace subdivision. The motion is that the council of the town of Bay-Westfield receive the recommendation from the Planning Advisory Committee to accept $374.40 as money in lieu of land for public purposes for the creation of one new building lot at PIN number 00221-218 on Colonel Nace Boulevard. Do I have a motion for that? Councillor McIntosh Lawrence, do I have a second? Thank you, Councillor Balcom. Any questions or comments on the motion?
Comment, Your Worship.
Councillor Balcom.
This is good news. This particular procedure is the first step for any developer. If there's public lands that have to be acquired for loss of other public lands, this is a monetary transfer. At PAC last week, the developer made the presentation and it was televised and explained that as long as the subdivision plan, which is yet to be submitted, passes, the developer intends to develop some townhouses and some garden homes. Far from being completed, but the momentum is there, and it's not the first developer that has expressed interest in Colonel Nace Boulevard. So this is great news.
It is. Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, Councillor. Item 11B, bylaw enforcement project, pilot project, Messy. And Troy, can you speak to the item, please?
Sure. So this pilot project has been brought before council a few times in the past. This is kind of that final step where you'll actually appoint 2 of the employees of NESI to act as bylaw enforcement officers for the town until December 31st of this year. Being a pilot project, it's actually being funded by a grant through the province, so there's actually no cost to the town for this. When the term is up at the end of the year, there'll be kind of an evaluation and decision on how we'll move forward at that time.
Thank you, Troy. Do we have any questions, Deputy CEO?
Through your worship to the Deputy CAO, what effect, if any, would this particular pilot project contract have on our town's existing contract with our animal control officer?
So at this time, it won't have any effect. The animal control officer will continue to do her duties as per normal. The outline that Nessie is giving on this is that should their officers encounter any type of animal control issues, they would simply advise the pet owner of the bylaw that may be in place, and then basically refer that item to the animal control officer for the actual enforcement.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the Deputy CAO? There being none, I'll read the motion, and just a warning in advance, it's a very long motion, so with apologies. Bylaw Enforcement Pilot Project MESI, whereas in accordance with Section 72 of the Local Governance Act, SNB 2017, C18, Council may appoint bylaw enforcement officers for the local government and determine their mandates. That the Council of the Town of Bay-Westfield authorize the following persons to be individually appointed as a bylaw enforcement officer for the local government. 1. Jordan Langlois. 2. Colleen Quigg. Be it further resolved that the bylaw enforcement officer is retained for the preservation and maintenance of public peace, and that the duties, powers, authorities, and immunities of the officer are as follows. A. The officer has the powers as defined by Section 14(3) of the Police Act, SNB 1977, CP-9.2. B. The officer has the duty to enforce all the bylaws of the local government. C. The officer has the lawful authority to investigate violations, perform inspections, enter lands, buildings, and other structures, issue tickets, lay information, serve documents, issue demands, orders, and perform all other duties and tasks in accordance with all the applicable sections and regulations of the Local Governance Act, SNB 2017, C18, and as established by bylaw. D. The officer is authorized to exercise discretion in the course of their duties. E. The officer is an officer acting under the law and is protected in accordance with the Protection of Persons Acting Under Statute Act, RSNB 2011, C210. Be it further resolved that the above mentioned appointments are terminated on December 31st, 2024, or until another resolution is passed by this council to terminate the term appointment. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Councillor Bailman. Do I have a second? Thank you, Councillor McIntosh Lawrence. Any further questions or comments on motion? Councillor Bailman?
How many days a week do we get our town? Like, do we get every day in our town, or once a week, or once a month, or?
Troy, do you know?
We don't have a specific number, but it is going to be basically a shared now. When this originally came about, it was going to be spread across every municipality in the region. But basically now there's much fewer number that actually opted in, so that it would increase the amount of time.
Any other questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, Council. 11C, Shoreline Restoration, ACAP St. John. And Troy, can you speak to the item, please?
So the Atlantic Coastal Action Program St. John, or ACAP St. John, reached out to our CAO via letter, and they had a meeting. And what they're seeking to do is plant some trees and other vegetation, native vegetation that would typically be in these areas along our coastlines of the St. John River. this is all town-owned land. There's no specific cost associated with this other than perhaps the village department offering some assistance with a backhoe on occasion. The work itself is being done by volunteers and will help strengthen our coastline for climate change.
Thank you. Any questions for the Deputy CAO on the item before I read the motion? The motion is that the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield authorize the CAO to sign the letter of support for ACAP St. John to plant native trees and shrubs to aid in restoring riparian zones identified by PIDS number 00229070, number 2, 3007-37312, number 3, 002-10419, number 4, 3023-6640, number 5, 3020-4235, and that's 00099-895 and 000999003. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Councillor Bellins. Do I have a second? Thank you, Councillor Bell. Any further questions or comments on the motion?
Yeah, it's a good idea to plant trees and hold back all the erosion we're having over the years. It's a great idea, so we'll see how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. All in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, Council. Item D, Town Education Bursary Draw. So we're back here again to draw our second winner for the town funded bursaries.
I'm glad to see that we got some nominations.
Here we are. And so, winner is Ava Mason, Bachelor of Science program at UNB. So congratulations, Ava. So the motion is now that the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield award the Town Education Bursary to Ava Mason and invite Ava Mason to attend the next meeting of council. Do I have a motion? So I think it was Councillor Burpee and second by Councillor Bellins. Perfect. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. We'll move on to item 11E, Climate Adaptation Plan. And Troy can speak to the item, please.
Sure, so the town does have a climate adaptation plan currently in effect. However, there's been some changes to the town, mainly with low gardens reform, changing our geographic area, as well as bringing some snow control in-house. And we also have added in a component related to stormwater management. So basically this is just to update the existing plan, bring it kind of current with those other considerations. The funding for this is being 100% funded through a grant from the Environmental Trust Fund, $60,000.
Troy, any questions for the Deputy CAO before I read the motion? There being none, the motion is that the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield authorize the CAO to enter into an agreement with Gemtech to complete the town's climate action plan per the ETF application and revision to include stormwater management not to exceed $60,000. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Councillor McIntosh Lawrence. Do I have a second? Thank you, Councillor Burpee. Any further questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, Council. This is going to be an important plan for us, particularly with climate change and the increase in frequency and intensity of the rain events that we've been experiencing. So having that revision to include stormwater management is going to prove very valuable to our plan in the future. So thank you for that. Item 12, bills for payment. The motion is that the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield authorize the July 8, 2024 bills for payment as presented in the amount for $82,716.59. Do I have a motion? Councillor McIntosh Lawrence, and I think that was a second by Councillor Burpee. Thank you. Any questions or comments on the motion? Councillor Bell.
One, Your Worship. Item 29, it's a very small amount, but I'd just like to have a little comfort level in what the funding the bill is for. NB Southern Railroad, for $287.50. Is this an annual payment, or is it, what is it specifically for?
Thank you, Councillor.
I'll turn it over to Commissioner, but yes, it is an annual payment.
Yeah, it is an annual payment, that's for underground pipe crossing. We have 5 crossings that cross underneath the track, and annually we pay a bill for, or at least payment, however you wish to put that to cross under every southern tracks. And $250 for the taxes. So we do have 5 of those which cross under the tracks.
Thank you very much.
And again, annually they send a bill for each one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried, thank you. Item 13, consent agenda. 13A, strategic plan quarterly report. B, minutes, PAC, June 3rd, 2024. C, funding request, Dark League sponsorship. D, invitation, bowling auction, October. E, building report, June. F, CCBF funding, 2024 to 2028. G, NB summer severe weather. H, fire smart. I, hurricane season. J, Fundy Regional Service Commission Annual Report 2023 and consent agenda. The motion of the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield receive and file the consent agenda items for July 8th, 2024. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Councillor Berkey. Do I have a second? Thank you, Councillor McIntosh Lawrence. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, Council. Item 14, Council reports. We start with Councillor Day today.
It's a bit quiet. It's nice that it's the middle of July already in some ways, but my words of caution to seniors out there, please keep drinking fluids. We're in the middle of a heat wave. I know I have a sweater on, but I freeze in the air conditioning. And please take care.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you. Councillor Balcom.
Thank you, Your Worship. A number of days ago, I forget how many days ago it was now, I had the occasion to attend, along with Your Worship as a member, I was an observer of the Fundy Region Service Commission that was held at the hub in Mount Flat. It was very eye-opening. The topic, great nature, of course, was the Crane Mountain enhancement discussion about the increasing of the south. Discussion, and I think there has to be a right discussion. Secondly, Tuesday this week, we had a PAC meeting where you heard the news of another subdivision possibly, Cornelius Boulevard was discussed. Last evening, I had a special meeting with the Harbour Station Commission where the last year's financial statements were approved, the auditor approved, and also a few days ago we had the pleasure of attending the Canada Day wonderful celebrations that I hope will be further discussed by my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor McIntosh Lawrence.
Thank you. On June 25th, I attended the River Valley Community Centre annual general meeting. So that report will be sent to council, and so it would be public knowledge if anyone who cares to read it. So this year, our president is Tanya Oliver, vice president is Amanda Ann, treasurer is Margaret Gillen. John Weber just stepped down, so Margaret Gillen's taking his place, and Catherine Doctrinant is our secretary. So again, if anyone would like to read that report, it would be available. June 27th, I attended the Multiculturalism Day at Market Square. That's always an amazing event. All the different foods and the talent and the skills and the diversity in one room. It's really amazing to see. And then again on Canada Day, we had a great Canada Day. I got to dunk Councillor Bowman's in the dunk tank. Well, sorry. I was staring right at you. Maybe it was subliminal, I wanted to.
And if I may interject, Your Worship, the water that is stored in the fire trucks that replenish the dunk tank, It is cold.
I heard you scream.
Anyway, yeah, I think it was
So I take it you
the
weren't
best attended Canada Day we've had. We've heard lots of positive feedback. But yeah, if anyone has any feedback, we appreciate it, and constructive criticism, and I think it can only get better.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Burpee.
Thank you, Your Worship. June 25th, I attended the Canadian Home Builders Dinner, which was a great time. It's always an excellent opportunity to speak with contractors and just make our presence known, just have conversations and get our message out there that we are eager for development and appreciate the conversations. June 26th and July 3rd, I announced the summer stage music at Unity Park, which is, there's so much talent in our region, so they're really well attended, and we had nice weather, so that always helps. And then of course on July 1st, Canada Day was amazing. So congratulations to all of the organizers that put that on. It's how you set the bar. It's beyond what people expected, and I heard that all day. So congratulations.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Bellman.
Best for last? No. Well, I'd like to go to the Canada Days event, and I thank Joe O'Brien on Foodland for donating the corn. That was quite a thing for them to, 600 years corn to everybody to have chow down on, right? So it was pretty nice of them to do that. So, but that was a good event too. So, but July 13th is this weekend is Dick Charles Golf Tournament for the raise money for the pro kids and stuff. So I hope I'll be golf and bring lots of money with them, so we get buy tickets and stuff for raffles. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. So what have I been up to? I attended the same Fundy Regional Service Commission board meeting as a board member that Councillor Balcom referred to earlier. And the real point of interest was again the discussion on the Green Mountain landfill expansion. If anybody that is in the catchment area has concerns about the landfill expansion, it's really important that your voice be heard. So please feel free to send an email or a letter or any kind of communication to the members of the commission, and you can find their email addresses on the Fundy Regional Service Commission website, or just email me and I'll send them to you. But it is important that people's voices be heard on this, and I will continue to update as the project continues. I attended the Municipal Assessment Committee meeting in Shediac, and that is that's a committee that I co-chair along with the Executive Director of Service New Brunswick. And it's basically it's a committee that talks about how we can communicate with each other better, and also how Service New Brunswick can improve in terms of its relationship and the services it provides to its major clients, which are the municipalities. So that's always an interesting day. I chaired the Fundy Regional Service Commission Regional Transportation Committee meeting, and that was particularly interesting because we were presented with the results of the regional transportation study in terms of how people move around the Fundy region and what are the barriers to them moving around. Why don't they use public transportation, or why do they use public transportation? So that will help inform some of the decisions and recommendations that the committee makes going forward to the commission, which will again help inform the 2025 work plan. And again, Canada Day, I don't know what more I can say that hasn't already been said. I need to send a huge thank you out to staff and the Community Vitality Committee and all the community groups that participated, and council that was there, and just all of the people that showed up and made it such a fun day. You know, everybody was happy, the weather was wonderful, and it was, you know, way to go to all of the people that were involved in putting that together. You know, our firefighters that gave up their time of the day to man the fire trucks and let the kids in, and you know, to Foodland, who you know, boiled and served the corn, and you know, all our students who stood in the heat to hand out cupcakes, and all the volunteers who handed out freezies. It's a real team effort, and I really appreciate everybody that made that happen. It was a really great day, so thank you for that. And that's all for me. So that means we get to move on to item 16, which is adjournment. And the motion is that the council of the town of Grand Bay-Westfield adjourn the meeting at 7:29 p.m. Do I have a motion? Councilor McIntosh Lawrence, and a second? Councilor Berkeley, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, council, and thank you, leadership team.